Hey guys, my name's Alicia, and if you don't know who I am, I sell vintage clothing online, and every month I make a video talking about what I sold and how much money I made. So today we're going to be talking about what sold for the month of November 2022. So this month I actually only sold 19 items, which isn't bad, but compared to my last couple months is definitely on the lower end. November has always been a slow year for me, so I'm honestly not surprised. Plus, I didn't do any markets this month, and markets have definitely been bringing up my sales significantly. So those two factors are definitely the reason why I only made 19 sales this month. 11 of those sales came from Depop, 6 came from Instagram, and only 2 came from Poshmark. So this has kind of been an ongoing trend where I haven't really been making that many Poshmark sales, partially because I feel like I've been slacking on there a little bit, not sharing my listings as much. But I don't know, I kind of feel like Poshmark has been going downhill lately, and the sales aren't really what they used to be. Maybe it's also because I've been focusing way more on vintage now rather than name brands, so those could be a couple of reasons for sure. So we are going to go into detail about every item I sold, but before that I just have to say a quick thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. So I personally was really interested in joining Skillshare because I really wanted to level up my business skills. As someone who's not like formally trained in business, I really have to rely heavily on doing my own research, and Skillshare made that so much easier to do. I ended up taking Emily Simcox's class on bookkeeping for freelancers. She provided extremely valuable information throughout this course that honestly I wish I had known from day one of starting my business. It honestly really made me rethink how I do my own bookkeeping. If you want to go into the new year feeling confident about how you're running your business, then you should definitely give Skillshare a try. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will actually get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. So thank you once again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and let's get into what sold for the month of November. Alright, so the very first thing that I sold was on Instagram. It was for this Oh Me Nerves vintage Newfoundland crew neck sweater. This one actually sold fairly quickly. I ended up selling it for $20, and because this customer was actually local to my area, I did not have to charge them for shipping. They just ended up picking it up at my house. This sweater actually only cost $4.99 at the thrift store, which is honestly a super good deal, meaning that at the end of the day, I made $15.01. So really decent profit for a sweater. These days, I have been aiming closer to the $15 to $20 profit margin mark, so I was totally happy with that. Next, I did make my first and only Poshmark sale of the month. It was for these handy dandy acid wash jeans and this ginger tree vintage floral rugby sweater. I definitely got some wear out of them before I ended up selling them, and I actually ended up selling them to a viewer, so shout out if you're watching. I ended up selling that bundle for $70. The Poshmark fees ended up being $14, and I actually paid around $14 for both items, meaning that at the end of the day, I ended up making $41.34, which honestly is really good. That means I made about a $20 profit per item, which I was totally happy with. Next on Depop, I ended up selling this vintage turquoise button-up cardigan. Sold that for $30 plus $10 shipping. I paid a little over $10 for this sweater, which looking back, I feel like was really overpriced, and I probably wouldn't have paid that again. And after shipping, Depop fees, all that, I only ended up making $7.71. So not the greatest profit. I think I actually accepted an offer on this one because I feel like, I don't know, for some reason I thought it wasn't going to sell. So probably my lowest profit of the month, but not the worst. Next on Depop, I actually ended up selling these Goldie pinch waist jeans. I've had these in my inventory for quite a long time now. I thought they were gonna sell a lot quicker because if you don't know, Goldie is like, not designer, but they're expensive jeans. And I really thought these were gonna sell on Poshmark, so I was really surprised to see they finally sold on Depop. I think somebody sent me an offer for $80, which I happily accepted because, like I said, at this point I was really like trying to get them sold. So I sold them for $80 plus $10 shipping. I paid $18 for them at the thrift store, which is definitely paying up for them, but because I knew it was a Goldie, it was expensive, I could sell them for quite a bit. And at the end of the day, I actually ended up making $47.39. So honestly, really great profit for a single item. I think it was definitely worth it waiting all that time to finally make this profit. Would I pick them up again? Probably not. Like I said, I'm just a lot more focused on vintage these days, and I've kind of decided to stop picking up like these name brand stuff because it just doesn't really excite me. Either way, great sale. Next on Instagram, I sold this vintage plaid gray mini skirt. I sold that for $25. Once again, it was a local pickup, so no shipping. And at the end of the day, I actually ended up making $25, so 100% profit, meaning that I did not pay for this item. And I really wanted to talk about this in this video because if you've noticed, a couple of my videos this past month, I have been gifted quite a bit of clothing, which is honestly really exciting for me because I've been running my channel for like over 2 years now. So it's nice to finally get some perks out of it, which is really cool. But I do just want to make it clear, like, this is definitely the perk of being a content creator, and I think it's really important to talk about that because my profit margins are going to technically be a little bit higher than a typical reseller. So I want to be realistic with you guys that, yeah, this is definitely an advantage for sure. So going forward, I do want you guys to keep that in mind, and I basically don't want to pretend that like this is normal and this is like typical for the everyday reseller. I hope that makes sense. So moving on, I made another sale on Instagram. It was for this Cultural Explosion neon quarter zip, another item that sold fairly quickly. It was really, really cool. Sold that for $25. Once again, local pickup, no shipping. I did pay $8.12 for this at the thrift store, meaning that at the end of the day, I made $16.88. So I was totally happy with that. Next on Instagram, I sold these Scratch Vintage dark blue button leg jeans. These were really cool. I ended up selling them for $30 plus $10 shipping. They did cost me around $10 at the thrift store, and shipping for this one was like so expensive. It ended up being $20, which I was not expecting because the customer was in Ontario, but I feel like there's like some remote part of Ontario that they have to charge like extra for, meaning that at the end of the day I only made $9.20, which definitely is under my goal, but honestly that was my bad for not like double checking the shipping price. Then next on Instagram, I sold this Adrenaline vintage pastel jacket. This was actually from my recent unboxing video a viewer actually ended up seeing, so shout out if you're watching. And just a reminder guys, like if you ever see something in my videos and it's not listed on my Instagram or Depop yet, feel free to send me a message on Instagram and we can do like a private sale. But anyways, I ended up selling it for $20 plus $15 shipping because it was going to the US. Another item that was gifted to me, so at the end of the day I made $19.40, which I was totally happy with. Okay, next on Instagram, I ended up selling this Missoni pink and brown striped v-neck long sleeve. Funny story behind this one, if you guys watched my latest thrift with me video, I picked this item up and I had no idea how expensive this was, and everyone in the comments was telling me like how great of a brand Missoni is. I had never heard of it. Honestly, designer items are so off of my radar. So I had it listed on my Instagram for only $20. And once again, once of my viewers ended up picking it up, so thank you so much if you're watching. I ended up charging $20 plus $10 shipping. It was only $6 at the thrift store, and after shipping and everything, I ended up making $11.06. So honestly, I was totally happy with that. Obviously, I could have like charged a lot more for it, but I'm honestly really glad that one of my viewers got a really awesome item for a very good price. Next on Depop, I sold this Eddie Bauer green wool pattern sweatshirt. This was really cute. I definitely debated keeping it, but I eventually decided to list it for sale. I sold it for $30 plus $10 shipping. I think somebody actually sent me an offer, which I accepted. And at the end of the day, I made $19.12, which was awesome. I think I accepted the offer because once again, this was a gifted item, so there was definitely some wiggle room there since I didn't pay for it. So totally happy with that. Next on Depop, I sold this Competitor's View NASCAR denim button down. This took way longer to sell than I thought it would. Like, it was super cool item, brand new with tags, vintage, made in USA, so I'm glad it finally sold. I ended up selling it for $50 plus $10 shipping. It only cost me $8 at the thrift store, so at the end of the day, I made $31.27, which honestly was really, really good, and I think it was a really good find, so I'm totally happy with that. Next on Depop, I actually sold a bundle for these Wrangler vintage black mom jeans and these Calliope wide leg jeans. I sold that bundle for $80 plus $10 shipping. The cost of goods was super low on these items. I only paid like a little over $4 for the Wranglers, and then the other jeans were gifted to me. So at the end of the day, I made $58.95, which is close to $30 per item, which is obviously really good. I was totally happy with that. Then next on Depop, I made another bundle sale, which was so exciting, for this DKNY gold velour zip up sweater, this Tommy Hilfiger vintage red long sleeve shirt, and this Mia vintage flower knit sweater, which was so adorable. Not surprised that it sold fairly quickly. I ended up selling that bundle for $80. I included free shipping because it was a bundle, so I was totally willing to offer that discount. Cost of goods once again was really low at only around $9 for both the sweater and the long sleeve. And then the zip up sweater was just given to me by a friend, meaning that at the end of the day I made $39.32, which comes out to about $13 per item. So nothing crazy, but I was totally happy with that. And then my very last sale of the month was on Depop, and it was once again a bundle, lots of bundles this month, which I love. It was for this Stefano vintage red floral halter dress and this Jill vintage floral button-down dress. Once again, purchased from a viewer, so thank you so much if you're watching. Another private sale, so they saw my unboxing video and was interested in a couple dresses, which I gladly listed for them. I ended up selling the bundle for $70 plus $20 shipping because this was going to Australia. And at the end of the day, I made $53.90. So about $26 per dress, which is really good. But once again, this is due to the fact that these items were gifted to me. So super good month. Not a lot of sales, but I feel like my profits were quite higher than normal. So I think that's going to help us out here. So as always, I'm going to go ahead, add everything up, and we're going to see how much money we made this month. Alright guys, so this month I actually ended up making $395.55. So definitely one of my lowest totals I've had in a while, but honestly that totally makes sense considering how many items I sold. And my average profit per item was actually $20.81. So clearly that wasn't the issue, it was just based on the amount of items I sold. So honestly, I'm totally happy with that. These last couple months, I've kind of felt a little overwhelmed with my sales. So the fact that this was just like a nice, slow, chill month, I feel like I kind of needed that, to be honest. As for my sell-through rate, I ended up listing 41 items, and as you know, only sold 19, meaning that I had a sell-through rate of only 46%. That definitely dropped considering my last couple months I've been selling like over 100% or close to. So this month I only sold like half as much as I listed, which like I said, I feel like that's totally expected for November, especially because I didn't do any markets, but I think this is going to really pay off in the next couple months because I'm going to have like extra inventory than normal. And I've been really proud of myself. I've really been sticking to my 10 items listed a week, which has been super consistent and I feel like has been a good number and a good goal for me to reach. So all things considered, I think this month was still good, even though it wasn't one of my best technically. As for platform updates, I haven't done these in a while, but both Depop and Poshmark have made some interesting changes that I just wanted to quickly talk about. Poshmark, first off, has started doing live streams, which I think is really interesting. They're obviously competing with the many live streaming apps that have been coming out recently. I haven't really looked into the Poshmark ones, but definitely interesting. If you guys have participated in the live streams, definitely like let me know your thoughts on that. And as for Depop, I feel like the newest feature they released is the boosting of your item. Basically, you can now boost your item where they bring it to like higher in the search, and if it sells, you have to pay like an additional 8% or something. I don't remember. And I personally don't really like this feature. I feel like it's just gonna make things more expensive because people are not gonna want to pay that extra boosting fee, so then they're gonna raise the price of their item to cover it. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I was thinking of trying it just for an experiment, but like, I don't really want to. I think that's really the only major updates. For next month, I'm really hoping to get into a market. Nothing is like confirmed yet, but I feel like that's gonna really help with my December sales. And last year I did a Christmas market, it went really well, so cross our fingers on that. As always, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little insight into what kind of things are selling right now. And I just wanted to say like thank you to the people who watch these what sold videos. I know everybody loves a good thrift with me, but like you guys that watch the what solds, I really appreciate you guys. I feel like my what solds are just like a chill time to like talk. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out Skillshare in the link in my description, and I will see you next week.